This week on the Hudson Valley Disc Golf Podcast, Randy took the week off so that we could have a conversation with DisCap Vice President Kat Bemis.
I'm just hopeful that more people get out there and volunteer is the biggest thing.
We recap Fun in the Sun at SPW with Tournament Director Kaitlyn Clay.
Everything went so smoothly the whole time. I was like, something is going to go wrong, and nothing ever did.
Jaimen, Corey, and Alex recap the fundraiser flex at CTK.
We reached our goal. We're just over $3,000. I haven't figured out the exact total raised yet.
And back by popular demand, it's last week in disc golf.
It was another hot as shit day on Tuesday.
Oh, and Jason was here too. In case you missed it when listening, here's everything he said.
Yep, I'm here. I can go interrupt her Pilates class if you want to just her to say something. Not that good, no. But it would be fun to listen to her try. Speech. I was enjoying the kids. She should probably be on tonight because she played way more golf than I did. I don't have much to offer. Yeah. Pat, actually, if you don't mind, I'm going to jump off.
Welcome to the Hudson Valley Disc Golf Podcast. This week we got Jason, Corey, Alex, Jaimen. We're also joined by the Tournament Director for this past weekend's Fun in the Sun at SPW and current New York Team Challenge Commissioner Kaitlyn Clay. We also have first-time guest DisCap Vice President and Tournament Director for this year's Mindkill Amateur Championships. Thank you for joining us, Kat Bemis.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having me, Pat.
Absolutely. So how did you first discover disc golf?
So Randy and I have actually been together since the end of high school, and we both played Ultimate Frisbee in college. He got a job right out of college because he's a year older than me out here at Regeneron and started playing disc golf because he didn't really know anybody yet. So mostly through him, though I had played here and there before that point, but that's kind of when we started doing it more frequently, once or twice a month. And then after about 8 months into it, we started playing a whole lot more. And my first tournament I actually played, I was, I believe, 6 months pregnant with Dylan.
Wow. So you're also from Massachusetts?
Yeah, we grew up together, actually. We weren't really close until high school, but we were both in band together.
This one time at band camp.
What instrument did you play?
I played trumpet and Randy played drums, but he also played trumpet in concert band. So he would do the typical, boy flirts with you by picking on you thing when we were in band together.
Pull your pigtails and such?
Yeah, he messed with my hair, gave me a good nickname that everybody actually called me in band, including the band director.
Any good ones?
For the next 2 years. It was Boy Part.
Randy.
Your band director called you boy parts?
He did, yeah. For 2 years, my band director and all our friends in band called me Boy Parts. We were marching down to the football field for a Friday night game, and I had a can of Mountain Dew in my uniform because you couldn't carry anything in your hands besides your instrument. So he said it looked like I had boy parts, and from then on, I was referred to as Boy Parts for about 2 years.
Dave, you're going into these band things all jacked up on Mountain Dew?
Oh yeah, I had a problem in high school.
Crazy. Do you remember your first disc?
The one that I can actually remember that I started using quite a bit was this really lightweight white jade that I actually had thrown for the past 6 years and just lost it 2 weekends ago at the Cape Cod's when I was warming up for the tournament. So I'm hoping to get that one back because it has a special place in my heart because I've had it, since the beginning of starting to play.
So when did you start getting more involved? How did that happen?
When I first started playing more frequently out here, I noticed obviously there weren't a ton of women. So I went to my first J Park Dubs, I believe was the first time I went out and played any of the doubles events. And I had Greg Kurtz as my partner, and he was very supportive and really fun to play with. And I remember thinking dang, I really got to get out to this stuff more. But of course I gave birth a month later. So that didn't last. But yeah, really just noticing that there weren't that many women out playing, or the ones that were playing were really only comfortable playing with their male partners typically. And so Randy's mentioned this before, but we ran a tournament for the local Ultimate community during the COVID shutdown. And I got a taste of being a tournament director. And from then on, when I heard about the Women's Global event, was when I really started jumping in and taking over and being more of a leader in the community.
what made you want to run for the DisCap board?
Kind of all the same reasons, really. Just like noticing that groups of people weren't necessarily being heard. And that's not at the fault of the current DisCap board at the time. But, like the board is made up of a couple slightly older white guys. And so there's not a ton of variety there. So I really just wanted to bring some like fresh eyes to the group. Another thing was that I noticed a lot of our courses have these wonderful white layouts. And once I started realizing that white layouts were like a thing, it improved my game a ton because I started to feel more confident. And I noticed, the influx of players from COVID. There were so many new people that were maybe like struggling with that same thing, like confidence on the course. And so I decided I really wanted to try and include more people and help those groups of people who aren't currently in disc golf. I looked up a stat earlier today, actually, because this has been on my mind a lot since I joined the board. The 2022 PDGA stats for the demographics say that for the age group of 19 to 39, there are about 76,000 men. So from 19 to 39. And for that same age group, there's only about 5.6 thousand women. And less than 800 of those women were pros in the year 2022. So, a huge difference amongst those groups. And then, of course, the other age groups are way smaller than that. So really my biggest goal since joining the board and the reason I decided to run was just getting those smaller groups of people involved and happy and feeling more included in our disc golf community.
How long have you been on the board now?
Going into my second year now.
With that being your biggest goal, what do you feel is your biggest accomplishment since being on the board?
A lot of people don't know this, but the board actually talks just about every single day. We have a Facebook group chat going. So there's tons and tons of work going on behind the scenes that a lot of people don't see. So since joining the board, I've learned so much more about what can be done in our community. For example, we have quite a bit of money in our bank account for DisCap, and some of it is allotted to specific courses. But I saw a Facebook memory from Jeff from 9 years ago that the white tee pads at Central Park were put in as those rugs. And so for 9 years, they've sat there as rugs only. And the CPS white tees are really, really good. They add a lot of variety. They're not just shorter versions of the blue tee pads. So far, I would say that that's one of my biggest accomplishments is last summer, I got roughly 15 of the tees done. So just a couple more to bang out this year. So that's been huge because, like I said, my biggest goal is to make it more inclusive in our community. So upgrading our white courses, I think, is a good way to do that.
Yeah, you've been kind of crushing it out there.
Thanks.
So the answer might just be finishing the CPS white tee pads, but over the next 12 months or so, is there anything else that you have your sights on?
Yeah, so I'm hoping once CPS is complete to jump over to J Park, which I know that Kurtz and Brandon have been doing a lot of work over there. I'd like to, at the very least this summer, make the J Park whites noticeable. I've heard a lot of people say, I didn't realize there were white tees at J Park. Or people have gone out to try and play them and have no clue where the actual tee pads are. So I can't promise tee pads this year, but that's my next project is to make them more visible, at least.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, even I've played the white tees, and some of them you kind of just have to know where they are. I guess UDisc helps, but even still with the UDisc map, it could kind of be because I don't know what the problems were when they first put it in, the reasoning behind only putting toe boards down in some areas or whatever. But yeah, it would be pretty sweet if J Park had good white tee areas.
Yeah, just so people knew where they were, because that course obviously is so amazing. With all the layouts, it's a central location for a lot of people that are coming up from the South more. But yeah, I want more people to feel included in the sport. And so for newer players, for some women, for some older players, which we have some older players in our community who just started recently, I really just want to make our courses more accessible for those people. And then obviously the people who are at the pro level still have a ton of fun playing those white courses. Corey, I know you came out last year when we did one of our tag rounds on the CPS whites, and you said you had a blast playing them.
Yeah, no, you You hit the nail on the head with CPS. Like a lot of the holes, well, I say a lot of them because I know some of them share the same tee pad, but a lot of the holes aren't just shorter tee locations. Like they're different lines and you have different options. And especially with some of the bigger tournaments that happen, or at least like the Turkey Throwdown. I think the Turkey Throwdown, maybe pros don't play the whites. But anyways, where the white tee pads do get, action, I've never heard someone really say that they didn't like the whites at CPS.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite white layouts in the area. Definitely partial to SPW as well. More so because that course is just kept so beautiful and the upkeep is amazing there. But yeah, the variety at the CPS white layout is so fun.
Do you have any other tournaments coming up as tournament director or no?
Not this year, but just trying to support wherever needed with those. So some of the kind of more behind the scenes work I've done this year is just doing things like making sponsorship signs on Canva. So I made signs for Fun in the Sun this weekend. I made them for Electric City last year, made them for the Berg tournament, and then, just helping where needed. So been in communication a little bit with Jaimen about states and happy to help out where needed. So any of the DisCap run events, just kind of throwing out, hey, what can I do to support you there?
Are you just doing this to get some time away from Randy and or the kids?
It definitely helps. But also I'm a teacher, so I have summers off. So it's a lot easier in the summertime to do that. And then I work from home now as well. So doing things like making sponsor signs or helping type up course notes isn't really that challenging when I'm sitting at my desk at home anyway.
Are you involved in New York or New England Team Challenge in any way?
Yeah, so I have played New York Team Challenge the first year it started, and we played on the Chatham Hills Country Club. And then I took a break because I was still playing Ultimate. And so just to make things semi-even, not that Randy and I try to make everything perfectly even, he played New York Team Challenge the past 2 years, and then I kept playing Ultimate Pickup in the winter at an indoor place. I played again this year for Mindkill, which was a blast, but because Randy and I don't have family in New York, it's really challenging to get babysitters for a lot of the weekend, because if my dad comes out, he's about 2 hours away, or Randy's parents are about 3 hours away. So I think I'm going to take another break from New York Team Challenge this year. Also, am looking forward to this year for Stony Kill supporting as a co-captain for New England Team Challenge.
Woo!
Yeah.
Under new management, partially.
Partially.
Yeah, mostly.
Who else is a captain there?
Alex and Billy Archer. Travis decided he wanted to just step down a little bit so he could kind of enjoy his time and stress out a little less and pass the torch.
I've been told he was immediately roped into captaining for the Wilcox New York Team Challenge team. So we'll see how long that relaxing lasts.
So no truth, the reason you left New York is because Randy's co-captaining Mindkill?
Yeah, that's actually the reason. I don't want to be led by him.
How long have you played New England Team Challenge?
I started back in, I had Dylan in 2018. So 2019 was my first year. And I played a couple matches here and there, but I was a little bit of a newer player. Actually, a really funny story was back in 2018, in about September, I believe it was. It was really close to when I was about to have a baby.
Don't do it.
Ryan Kendrick saw me playing J Park one night. I was playing a random round by myself, and he came up to me and he was like, "Hey, have you heard of New England Team Challenge?" And I was like, "No, what is it?" He explained it. I was like, "That sounds amazing." He's like, "Yeah, I play for the Stony Killers. It's a ton of fun. You should come play with us. What are you doing?" And I said, "Well, when does it occur?" And he said, "Well, from like October to April." And I was like, "Ooh, I'm about to have a baby in about a month, so probably not this year." But he did rope me in because I did end up joining the following year.
I totally thought you were about to talk about something else. I kind of forgot we were still talking about Team Challenge, but wasn't it you that we played like the Heiser Creek monthly together and you were like 12 months pregnant? Or was that somebody else?
That would be impressive.
12 months?
I played a lot of stuff pregnant. I started right, a couple months before Dylan, and she's 5.5 now, and then kept playing straight through that, played about a week before I had her. And then jumped right back into it as soon as I was able. Played through my pregnancy with Casey as well. A couple of those tournaments, I think I shifted down in divisions because I was really close to giving birth. So I know I had played Battle of Saratoga. I played a bunch of monthlies. I won Blatnick Breeze that year, and that was 2020, so it was pushed back. And so I was actually like 7 or 8 months pregnant at that point too, and won that. And then poor Mindy, I'm going to throw her under the bus. She brings this up all the time. For the women's tags that year in 2020, we played a match at Prospect, quite literally a week before I gave birth to Casey. I want to say there were 7 or 8 of us, and I beat everybody. I took the one tag at the end of the year, and I gave birth on December 12th. So nobody could really challenge me to try and get the one tag back because I gave birth and then it was the end of the year anyway.
Do you find that it affects your form being pregnant?
Oh, yes. Big time. Rounding was a big problem because I didn't want to hit myself in the stomach. And it really kind of affected me for a while after that as well. I used to throw kind of flexi shots, not realizing, where I'd throw like a big Anheuser and let it come back and have to throw slightly more stable discs. And then from working on my form, started to realize, oh my gosh, I'm not like actually pulling straight through. And that was a big change for me. And that was really difficult to get away from because I played, at least 3 years like that, where I was throwing really big Anheuser backhands and getting them to flex back. And that took quite a while to figure out. But my form is mostly improved now.
I don't know if anyone else is going to jump in and ask it, but assuming that either Randy is DDing or you don't have the kids or whatever, well, and you don't have the kids, I suppose, what's your favorite course beverage?
I love a great IPA, so I will bring them sometimes. But when the weather is hot or I'm playing Team Challenge and I'm starting to drink at 9 a.m. because I don't have kids, it's usually a White Claw just because they're easy to carry and chug.
They're like the Zima of now.
Zimas, yeah. All right. So you had the day off. Obviously, it's the summer. And thinking about going to CPS to do some white teed work and then maybe play some doubles if enough people are there to volunteer. So you grab your bag and you head out to the course. You spend hours laboring over those heavy pavers. But eventually you wipe your hands and it's time to play. Except you realize you accidentally grab Randy's bag, not your bag. His bag is huge.
Oh, no.
You're playing CPS whites. You don't need all those discs. So, with what you have, Randy's bag, what are 3 of his discs, and what disc are you going to use to putt with to play CPS whites?
Ooh, you really threw me for a loop here. I had a feeling you were going to do like the coursework option, but you really got me with Randy's
Well, this
bag.
is also like a husband-wife quiz. Like, how well do you know your husband?
All right. So Randy putts with Wardens. I can handle a Warden. It's a little shallower than a P2, which I typically putt with. But the Warden for a putter. Throwing putter is an envy. We both throw Mako 3s, so I'm good there for the mid-range. And then I guess I'm going to have to fake it till I make it with one of his Firebirds.
Yeah, that should be able to get you around CPS whites pretty good.
I was going to say maybe an Exodus or something like that.
Yeah. We both throw the Exodus as well. Love that disc.
Randy's pretty much retired from Ultimate, right?
Yeah, he doesn't play anymore.
Do you still play?
So I'm mostly retired at this point. Still playing here and there, but basically I kind of hit my peak right before having Casey back in 2020. And I tried to come back this past summer and realized it was really difficult and I just wasn't as fast as I used to be. And my throws aren't there anymore because I've been focusing on disc golf. So I kind of had the mindset of I'll just quit while I'm ahead. So I'm playing things like alumni tournaments and silly stuff like that. And this year I'm subbing for Summer League when I feel like it, but that's about it.
Do they appreciate your like come and go nature, your come and go approach to this?
Yeah, I think it's fine. So the Albany Ultimate community has been going for a long time. So Summer League is really huge. We usually have, 6 or 8 teams mixed, but the ratio of male matching players to female matching players, there's always way fewer female matching players. Same thing with disc golf. And so if they need subs, they just reach out and say, hey, we need a couple people. And I'll, just say whether I'm available or not. But Koch did call me out on an email last week because I put maybe for my response. And he sent out an email to the whole sub list. And then at the end of it, put, Kat, let me know if you change your mind.
Sounds like something he'd do.
Oh, yeah.
Was there anything in particular you wanted to talk about?
I'm just hopeful that more people get out there and volunteer is the biggest thing. My volunteer days, unfortunately for most people, tend to be during the weekday while I'm off in the summer. But I know there are people that don't work during the day in the summer. So hoping to see more people out volunteering, not only for work days that I lead, but that others lead, because it tends to be the same people slaving away on the course all the time. Most of them are here in this group right now, leaders of volunteer work across the DisCap region. So hoping to see more people out and taking care of courses. And also, kind of like I mentioned before, from joining the board, I've realized that, we've got money in DisCap. And so if people think of coursework that needs to be done or things that could be added to better some of our courses, reach out to us. We're happy to support you either with money or advice or helping to purchase things, because we really want to make the course better, but the DisCap board is just 5 of us. So we can't do it all.
Well, from what I understand, Jaimen's got a lot of free time on his hands, right, Jaimen? You don't have anything going on.
Dude
Nothing.
doesn't do enough.
Quit slacking, Jaimen.
Mm-hmm.
I keep breaking my weed whackers, so I'm actually doing a little bit less than I should be right now, and it's really annoying.
When you say breaking, you mean like the rope? I hate the rope.
No, I don't really know. So my first one, it was just getting bogged down, so that's in the repair shop.
Carburetor's dirty. Got to clean the carburetor out.
I did put a new air filter in it. That didn't help too much. It's just tired. I mean, in the past 2 weeks, I went through 200 feet of weed whacking twine.
Dang.
Yeah, which is 10 refills of it, which is essentially 10 tanks of gas also. So I just brought it into the repair shop for some TLC, and then I borrowed my dad's, and I used that for 3 hours today, and now that one's broken too. So I get to repair both of them.
Did you break your dad's truck picking up lumber for CTK as well?
No, he did the driving for that one. He didn't break it, but yeah, that worked out. Those teas are coming along nicely. Thank you to DisCap and especially Kat for helping coordinate all the tax-free purchasing of the tea supplies. That was a huge savings.
Hell yeah, that's what we're here for.
Yeah, but it was. I have heard from inside sources that this was during your vacation.
Well, I mean, I'm a teacher too, Jaimen. The whole summer is my vacation, so no big deal.
We went by New York Team Challenge, but Kaitlyn, as the Clay Missioner for New York Team Challenge, I know it's still early yet. Are there any updates? Any new teams? Any teams leaving? Anything you can share?
I don't have really any updates, except I did post in the New York Team Challenge page, and now that I'm thinking about it, I probably should also post it in DisCap if I didn't. But the applications for the new teams are going to be open for the whole month of August, and I have a couple things that need to be included in the application. One important part of the app, you could have a loose roster, but you have to have 3 female matching players committed to your team, and I will reach out and check with them. So that's it. That's my only update. Month of August, application for new teams are open.
I have one question. I just thought of this the other day for Kat and Kate. And I tried to ask it earlier, but apparently there's a button on my headset that mutes me. And I was muted for the past half hour and didn't understand that. I was like, wow, Corey just totally ignored me. So anyways, all right. Flat ground, wide open fairway, 200 feet. What's your go-to shot?
Ooh, for me, it's either going to be an Exodus, or if I need something maybe a little straighter, I'm going to thank Kaitlyn and her husband Garrett for this. Could potentially be the Casaplast Lots.
Ooh, yeah.
Just goes pin straight and is a beautiful disc.
What's the numbers on the Exodus? Is that a leopard-ish?
I believe so. Yeah, it's definitely a 7-speed. It doesn't have numbers on the one I have, so I actually could not tell you, but it's got a little finish at the end, but it goes pretty straight.
If I have it right off the top of my head, it's 7.5 minus 1.2 or minus a half 2 or something.
That sounds about right based on the flight.
Cool. What about you, Kate?
My answer is probably an EMAC Truth on a high hyzer spike in. It's been my favorite disc in my bag lately. EMAC.
Nice. That straight to stable mid-range slot.
Yep. I keep putting fresh ones in my bag though. I like to keep them pretty stable. So I like to use them for like the hyzer shots.
Nice.
I'm going forehand AVR X3, Jaimen. It's the only thing I can throw straight. That's probably my max limit distance-wise with it, too, so it's perfect.
Yeah, cool. I was just wondering, I think that like we talk about disc golf a lot, but I realize we don't actually talk about very often how people throw. So kind of seeing how they approach an open hole might add a little bit. I don't know. Also gives us a chance to talk it.
Oh, absolutely. If you put me on flat ground with nothing in front of me but grass and a basket, it's probably the most intimidating shot for me. So
yeah, those are the hardest ones.
Yeah, because measuring distance and the whole McGill. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I think Warwick does a really good job with just leaving some baskets in the middle of the field and going, good luck, there's no reference points.
I was just there today.
Yeah, hole 18 blue.
You out there getting around?
Yeah, I kind of cheat. I play usually the front nine. I'm trying to practice my backhand, and my backhand's not going to do anything on the back nine. So I usually just play the front nine, forehand and backhand. It's only just starting to not feel clunky throwing a backhand.
Good.
Yeah. It still sucks looking at it, but it feels better. So that's
progress is progress. It's all about percentages.
Yeah, exactly. What I realized today is that when it's 90 degrees, I always pick up my disc bag with my right hand on the strap and cover my hand in sweat before I throw a disc. You know what I mean? You put out, grab your backpack by the strap, put it on, and my hand's covered in sweat, and then I got to throw a drive with sweaty hands.
That, or I like to like spray my hat with bug spray. I think it works better. But then like I start fidgeting with my hat with my throwing hand. Like, well, that was a stupid move.
Or like if I drag a cart with my right arm, and it's like, why are you doing that? Use your left, dummy. You're going to tire out your arm.
I do that picking up my bag all the time, too.
Yeah, just got to learn to start using my left more. But so Fun in the Sun, that was at SPW Tournament Director Kaitlyn Clay. This is a one-round event?
It was one round, yeah.
But there was a clinic beforehand, right?
Yeah, we did a clinic morning until lunchtime, and then we did the sanction round after lunch.
How did the clinic work?
So originally my plan was to kind of like split people up into 3 different skill levels, like beginner, intermediate, advanced, and kind of teach them all different topics. Like I had a list of topics I wanted to go over, and then kind of like basics with the really beginners, a little bit more advanced topics for the intermediate, and then like one advanced topic for the advanced folks. But like morning of, I decided to just do everyone together in one group, and we went over all the topics. So we did like 3 different sections. So like we did putting first, then we took a break and did approaches second, and then we took a break and did driving and distance and forehands. And so we went over just like all the topics at the beginning of each section. So we went through like the very basic topics all the way to the advanced topics. And then we kind of had people just practice whatever skill from the talk that we did during that time. And I think it worked out really well because, for example, a lot of the more advanced players might have not needed anything in the putting section, but I saw a lot of people helping the newer players, which was really cool to see.
You had a few that weren't signed up for the tournament in there?
Yeah, I think there was like 1 or 2 that showed up that wasn't signed up for the sanctioned round that did the clinic.
So how did it go, the event itself?
Yeah, I think I had a lot of anxiety leading up to Sunday, but I think everything went so smoothly the whole time. I was like, something is going to go wrong, and nothing ever did. So I think the day honestly went absolutely like best case scenario perfectly.
What about your round?
My round was also good. SPW, I feel like for FPO and maybe FA1, it's easy to get in your head like you should be doing better because it's pretty much every single hole is birdieable. Every single hole is birdieable. I wouldn't say pretty much. Every single one is birdieable. So like when you're not birdieing, you kind of feel bad. But honestly, like ratings-wise, I shot -6, and that was still like a 925 rated round. So I feel good about that.
Why do you have to call me out like that, Kate? That's exactly how I felt the whole time.
The thing is, though, like I know other people were feeling it too. It's like, dang, I should be parking every single hole, and you just don't. So.
What about your round, Kat?
So I play the SPW whites quite a bit. So when I have work off on Thursdays, I am usually at the Disc Beat League, which typically plays the white tees there. So I went to Disc Beat this past Thursday, shot a round that was okay, 4 down, played a round after, shot another 4 down. And then Friday, I went out to help set up the course. for the tournament and really taking my time and playing on my own. I shot a 9 down. So then playing the tournament, I shot a 2 down, which was pretty disappointing for me because I have most definitely birdied every hole there. But looking back on it, it was actually only a couple strokes off other players and the rating was still above my rating. So I'm trying to not beat myself up too much about it. But definitely, as Kate said, every hole is gettable. So it's a little frustrating when you don't get them.
Did you participate in the clinic?
I did. So Kate did an awesome job delegating. And I could picture myself sitting up there in front of a group of people and just talking forever. But the way she set it up was she had Jess Lasasso run the putting part of the clinic. And then the three of us kind of went around and helped out. And then I did kind of an upshot clinic and talked about, aiming and types of throws and what disc you want to throw, since the main thing I noticed that a lot of beginners do is they try to throw like a driver for an approach and then they leave themselves with a long putt. And so I saw a lot of faces light up talking about that and, like disking down in those situations. And then Kate ran the distance / forehand / driving section of the clinic. So we split it up really well. And I think that worked out great for players, having different people kind of give their side of things.
Yeah. So 10 divisions.
Yeah.
Go over the results. The winner for FJ12 is Lucy Relia. There's also FJ15, girls juniors under 15. Elizabeth Curry's your winner there. Women's Amateur 4, Jessica Goyette. Any relation to Tim Goyette?
Yes, I believe they are married.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Women's Amateur 3, FA3 was a tie for first. Sherry Ocasio and Isabel Cummings. Was there a tiebreaker?
Yeah, Isabel won the tiebreaker. I don't actually know what they did. I said, if you want to start at hole 1 and play off, you could do that, or you could decide amongst yourself. And I think they did some kind of throw off to the practice basket, maybe, for the trophy.
FA2 was won by Fiorella Nicoli. FA60, Women's Amateur 60 plus was Janet Crenshaw. FA50, Women's Amateur 50, Wendy Corbett won it over Carletta Darling. Lisa L., which I believe I've learned is Lisa Lundquist.
Mm-hmm.
No relation to Henrik, won the FA40, Women's Amateur 40 division. FA1 was won by Kristen McDonald over Alexis White. We actually got to speak with Kristen after the event, so I have some audio. Here you go.
Today was such a good day. Went up north for some fun in the sun at SPW to learn a few new tricks while having a fabulous ladies' day. The weather was perfect, the company was even better, and I can't wait to start building a forehand into my game. Kaitlyn Clay crushed it with this event. I can't think of any better brains to pick than hers, Kathleen Bemis or Jessica Lasasso on these skills. Thank you for a day that was good for the soul. A great rated round and filled with so much fun and laughter.
I don't know why, but that made me laugh so hard.
That sounded just like her.
I didn't realize she sounded
She's
so...
really got an accent.
It sounded so, like Ponce or what's that called? Posh?
I think posh is the word
Yeah.
I'm looking for.
Yeah, that was close. But I like how it did better at saying Jessica Lasasso's name than Kat Bemis.
Right. That was your FA1 winner. FPO, looks like there was a tie for first there between Kaitlyn Clay and Jessica Lasasso. What happened there? Was there a tiebreaker?
I pretty much excluded myself from everything, so it's Jess who won.
All right, so your FPO winner, Jessica Lasasso. I do not have audio of her, I'm sorry. She did not post to her Facebook page, at least that I saw. So
I can go interrupt her Pilates class if you want to just like...
Can she do a British accent?
Not that good, no.
Oh.
But it would be fun to listen to her try.
Just shoved the mic in her face and, Jess, can you give us 1 minute? You give a comment?
Speech.
So is this going to be a recurring event?
I haven't decided yet. Hopefully. That is my answer.
All right. Any other events coming up?
Not TD-wise for me.
What do you got playing-wise?
I got a lot on the docket playing-wise. Let's see. So I'll caveat with the fact that I've been injured for the past month. This was my first time playing since Brewster Ridge. I'm still not feeling 100%, so hopefully this weekend I can make it through and keep going. But this weekend I'm going to Clay Park Classic on Syracuse on Saturday. The following weekend is Warwick Disc Golf Championship.
Oh, wow, that's quick.
Yeah, and then month of August, there's one DisCap Flex towards the beginning of the month, but then I'm going out to Worlds third week of August. And then I still got 5 or 6 I'm signed up for after that through the month of October. So,
Man, you got anything coming up, Kat?
Yeah, Not in the rest of July, but since Randy and I are from like 20 minutes off the Cape, we're going to play Cape Cod Open the first weekend in August, the DisCap Flex the following weekend, and then at the end of the month, him and I split the Stony Kill Scramble. So I signed up for the single side, and Randy's going to play dubs with David Koch.
Yeah, gosh, I just saw that. They took both my partners out of commission on one team.
Randy felt really bad about it, but he did it anyway.
I'll give Koch words too.
You could take Adam Nelson or something.
Yeah, I just saw his message.
I was gonna say, Kate, a bunch of other DisCap people have signed up for the Clay Park Classic if you want to carpool.
Oh, good to know.
Justin's going out there different, but me, Corey, Kyle Hirsch, and Bohansky are all planning on going out.
Definitely.
So it's been a pretty last minute decision, but playing a B tier on a course that you've already played this year, that's like...
Yeah, recently too.
Yeah.
Easy money.
Last I heard, my mom was going out there too.
I am defending champion, so...
Ooh.
Yeah.
Nice. There's something about Western New York tournaments that DisCap players tend to play pretty well in.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. You should go out to Buffalo. I bet you'll win them all.
You think there's anything to that? Is it the style of course or anything?
I just think we're all really good.
No, that could be it too.
Clay Park has got like a east and a west, and although I would not say it's apples to apples, it kind of feels almost J Parky. Mm-hmm. Maybe even literally the east and west layouts. Like Clay West is kind of like mostly open. The wood shots that there are there, they're not like super woodsy, kind of like Jay West. And then Clay East is definitely like all wooded. Actually, the fairways are definitely wider than like Jay East, but I feel like there's some similarity.
Yeah, that and like I think Clay West, I think it is even similar to Shen, just like throwing around, baseball fields and football fields and stuff.
We also had this weekend the CTK Flex fundraiser. Tournament Director Jaimen Hume. How'd that go, Jaimen?
It went super well. Everybody showed up. Running a flex start with some threesomes out there can always be a little bit nerve-wracking. If one person doesn't show up, you're like pulling somebody from somewhere else, and it can get hairy, but luckily it didn't. Everything went super well. The course is in pretty good shape. I've been kind of doing a little bit of weed whacking here and there, but really, generally, everything's playing really well, and I've started to get some of the red tees in. So I think the course is just going to keep looking better and better. I'm really excited to use it for states. I think it's going to be in its final iteration, and it's going to be the best it's ever been.
Is that a good time of year for CTK? What's its prime time of year?
That's a good question. I don't really know. Definitely not the winter. It's kind of like pretty far out of the way for a lot of people. So unless there's something happening on it, the tee pads aren't really shoveled or anything like that in the winter. But I feel like the best time for CTK is the fall just because of all the views. Washington County is a really cool place to be in the fall with all the agriculture and that kind of stuff. So yeah, I think that it's probably going to be hitting it right in the sweet spot. It's going to look excellent just because of, like I said, all the views and just how great of a property it is to begin with. But it's also, the fall is kind of when growing slows down. So it's just a little bit easier to keep track of the weed whacking and keep up on it. So it'll be the most manicured it is while also being the nicest looking and probably not an absolute scorcher.
Yeah, I was going to say, I would definitely vote late summer, early fall, especially like if you get into that leaf changing season, because man, playing that course in the heat of summer with high humidity is rough.
Yeah, I was sitting at hole 1, which is pretty wooded and kind of sheltered from the sun and just really any bad weather. So like all day it was pretty fine for me and mild. And then when I finally got out and like picked up all the OB flags, I was like, holy crap, this was rough. I kept seeing people come in off 9 looking like wet dogs, but I didn't quite get it.
I drank all of my water that I had by the end of hole 8, and then sitting at the backup, which I had a lot of, at hole 9, I was like, man, I brought 2 beers, one for after a round and one if I had to share it with somebody. And I'm like, it was taking all of it out of me to not go over there and grab that beer. And then that's when I saw you going in your car. I'm like, Jaimen, I need water. Save me.
Yeah, there's a water fountain directly in between holes 7 and 8.
Oh.
In the Welcome Center that a lot of people don't seem to know about. I guess I need to broadcast that a little bit more. But yeah, it's got cold water. The Welcome Center is air conditioned and everything. And it's a pretty quick trip. It's kind of out of the way now that hole 9 is where it is, but I don't see anybody getting mad about taking a little diversion over to the air conditioned water fountain.
So with these new rules, what is a reasonable amount of time to hang out in the AC and get water? Is that considered a bathroom break, or do you have to like?
That's the kind of thing where you get the whole cart on your side and just I'll go do it.
Or you call your timeout next year.
Yeah, right.
I'm using my timeout back to back.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like a timeout will only be in play when you're delaying the next person on your card's shot. So if you can get everybody to want to go fill up their water bottle, then you're not delaying anybody.
And you use each person's timeout right in a row. So you get, extra time for all 4 of you to go enjoy the AC and cold water.
The more that we're talking about this, the more I don't think I actually like this timeout BS now, because I just feel like this is more backups. Everything
in the PDGA is just vague enough to really screw you over. I feel like that's like one of their guiding principles with the rule is like, is this defined and clear? If it is, we should probably make this a little bit more vague. But anyways, we reached our goal. We're just over $3,000. I haven't figured out the exact total raised yet, but I'm going to kind of keep that fundraising going while I now have enough money to do all of the teas. I'm still a little bit short of what I need for the T signs, I think. I still need to look at the numbers again on that to make sure I'm right. But besides that, CTK has all the possible room for expansion that it can. So continuing fundraising for that course will allow for things like a set of baskets that everybody doesn't complain about and maybe some other things down the road as well.
You laughed, Alex. What does that mean?
It was a running joke on our card a little bit. It was anything that went wrong, we blamed on the baskets.
Sounds like you guys weren't hitting them center enough.
No, like we're talking, you hit like pin and didn't even come close to hitting chains. It's the basket's fault. You hit like one singular chain link. It's the basket's fault for not catching it.
You were Gannon burring it.
That's funny. I always thought that was Corey cooking.
No, my bullfrogs like to roll away. That's not like the basket's fault.
Go over the results. When we get up to pro, we'll talk to the pros that played. MA3 Mixed Amateur 3, Colin Murphy won that by 6 strokes over Chris King and Justin Hickok. Women's Amateur 2, FA2 was Rachel Radiker. Ryan Travis, 148343, is your MA2 winner by 5 strokes over Logan Akins. John Furman won the MA60 Mixed Amateur 60 Plus division with a -4. Jamie Borge is your MA50 winner by 2 strokes over Charles Carpenter Jr. III. Terry Hudson won MA40 by 3 strokes over Jay O'Leary. Marcia Focht won FA1. There was a tie at MA1, Mixed Amateur 1, between Justin Park and Peter Hodge. Because it's a flex, ties just stay, right?
Yep.
FPO, this was on Saturday, right? The Fun in the Sun was on Sunday.
Yep.
Yeah.
So FPO winner, Jess Lasasso. Jason, did you get to play any disc golf this weekend, or were you just watching the kids?
I was enjoying the kids. This was just, she should probably be on this tonight. She played more golf than I did. I don't have much to offer.
That's okay. Moving on to the MPO division. Corey, how'd you do?
Oh, you know how I did, Pat. I got my ass kicked. If it wasn't for Austin Swartout, I would have came in dead last. No, I didn't have a good day.
Going into the round, what are you expecting to shoot?
You know, to be honest, going up there, I had no idea it was going to be close to 90 degrees. Like, I really thought it was going to be a high 82, and I don't know if I was looking at the wrong day or what I was doing, but I see my tee time was 11:30. By the time I got up there, it was hot as shit. And like I said, I crushed through my water, even trying to ration it within like the first 8 holes. And the front 9 really doesn't have much, if any, shade on almost any hole. You kind of have to walk away to get to some shade. It's like, yeah, I'll go spot and I'll just go stand in the shade while you guys bake out here. But no, like the front 9, I didn't get nearly enough birdies on like the birdieable holes. Even with Jaimen changing the par on the downhill hole 4 to a par 4, I still took a 4 on it, which normally plays as a par 3. So yeah, front 9 wasn't that good to me. Back 9, I did a little bit better, but not, I didn't get any of the birdie holes. I saw Ryan Travis, 148343 at one point walking through, and I was kind of chit-chatting with him, and he was mentioning how he be careful on T15, because I'm guessing he went to throw a forehand, and he must have slipped a little bit. So when I get there, I test the tee pad out. I'm like, oh, no, it seems all right. I go to throw a forehand, instantly eat shit. I literally fell off the front of the tee pad, like slid off the front, and it was a terrible shot. And that's a hole where I feel like I just throw a stock forehand and get a birdie. But overall, yeah, I played a lot worse than I was hoping for. I was kind of hoping to be more in the, at least under par, but somewhere in the 3 to 5 range, I feel is almost always doable for me. But fortunately, I struggled and finished with a +1. And I played with Tucker Kozlowski, guy from Vermont, Shane Seals, and Adam Nelson. So I got to watch Adam and Tucker kind of, pop off, especially in certain sections. Those guys both had some sections where they were just crushing the course. So although it was a super hot day and kind of miserable, I was happy to play it, and I was looking forward to jumping into a friend's pool afterwards, so I couldn't get out there fast enough.
No time to get over to Kurtz's?
No, and actually I talked to Mucelli, and I'm pretty sure he went there super early, got a round in, then had to go back to Troy, pick up a buddy, and then head up to CTK. So apparently it was doable, but that was way more than I was willing to do.
Oh, that's fair. Alex, another reason I'm going to keep asking you what division you're playing. You had me convinced last week that you were going to just be sticking to the MA1, but you played pro. How'd that go?
Well, to be totally honest, I went into it thinking this was a trophy-only tournament. I was thinking it was, it's a fundraiser, they're probably not going to pay out much. So I'm going to sign up for MPO because that's where the people that I want to play with are, So I signed up for MPO, and CTK is a course that I know pretty dang well at this point. So it's one of those things where it's like, like at Stony Kill, I would probably play MPO. At CTK, I would play MPO. I would consider playing MPO at Mine Kill if I had the option. So yeah, I decided to sign up for MPO this time.
How'd you do?
I played well. Outside of Hole 8, there really wasn't anything I was super disappointed by. Hole 8, I decided I just wanted to throw it basically into the ground to the right, which is OB. Mm-hmm. So in general, don't do that.
So when you say into the ground, it's like uphill most of the way. You threw it into the ground, but it still went OB?
Sort of. So Hole 8, the way it's set up is you're up a hill slightly, and then you throw over a little bit of a valley, and then you go uphill even more to get to the basket. My thought was, I'm just going to throw high enough, big spike hyzer, just trying to get around the trees, not trying to do anything fancy with it. And then immediately threw it much flatter and lower than intended. So instead of having plenty of time to hyzer out over the OB and come back inbounds, it just flew pretty much straight into the OB cornfield off to the right there. So not really the way you're supposed to play the hole. But yeah, took a 6 there, but was able to play pretty clean for the rest of the round. Picked up some birdies that I don't normally get in rated rounds, like hole 15 and 17 are both, ones that are very gettable towards the end of the course, and I never seem to be able to get them in competitive rounds, but I got them this time. So wrapped up with a -2, which, I'm normally aiming for right around even. If I can get under par, then I'm feeling really good. We did have that little bit of a bonus that hole 4 was playing as a par 4 instead of a par 3, so that's an extra stroke off there, but still, that would have been -1 without it. So I'm feeling good about how I played.
Just the whole 8 thing. Did you make it to the short tee pad?
No. Yeah. I was a good 100 feet short of the red tee.
So basically your second shot, you got all the hill to go.
Yeah. I got around most of the stuff and then hit a tree on my upshot, so I still ended up taking a 6.
So you ended up in 6th place, and Randy, who's not here, had the best showing. He tied for 4th with Whit Stevenson, so we won't hear about that. But Kyle Hirsch in 3rd, and as Corey mentioned before, Adam Nelson and Tucker Kozlowski both shot -5. Now, they were on the same card, so they could have had a tiebreaker, but they didn't, Corey?
Yeah, it actually came down in pretty spectacular fashion. Like, Adam was playing pretty good. He had a really bad hole 1, and it looked like he was going to be an absolute terrible putter, as I'm pretty sure he 3-putted from inside the circle. But then I'm pretty sure that just fueled him to just start draining putts the rest of the round. Tucker didn't really have to putt at all, it felt like, for a lot of his birdies. But the last few holes, he kind of struggled a bit, and Adam came back, and it came down to basically hole 18, which I'm not sure if either of them knew what the scores were, knew what the situation was. They might have, but Tucker I think he took an unfortunate bogey on that hole, and Adam parred for it to finish in a tie. And I think they were briefly talking about it, or at least joking about, a playoff. And they're like, nope, sorry, buds, you guys are co-winners. No playoffs.
Yeah, this was Adam's first MPO win. So he was like, I guess I'll share my first win with Tucker.
I can think of worse people to share a win with.
Sure.
Corey Cook. I mean, no.
Do not want to do that. I will let you know. You should have beat me.
Any other notes on that, Jaimen?
No, I think everything seemed to go pretty well. A couple of backups. I need to change out the order of the cards a little bit for next time, but it was very cool watching the scores come in, watching Adam kind of rise to the challenge while Tucker not fell apart, but just kind of coasted out a little bit.
Yeah, I'm not really sure how we were on Randy's butt the entire time, but Randy on the cart of 3, we were caught up to him on several holes, to the point where Corey's cart ended up catching up to us because we were stuck behind Randy and people. So,
okay, now that we're pointing fingers, I was getting fucking pissed. Like, how are we on these guys the entire time? There's a threesome ahead of them. I think, I don't know if, well, I mean, you guys are playing with Austin, and Austin kind of struggled a little bit, so I'm sure, I don't know if that added. And then
No, I think what happened is I should have put a 10-minute space in the cards at some point, and I just didn't. I did that for the first one, and it worked out well, and it just kind of like slipped my mind a little bit for this one. I've been super busy leading up to the tournament. I was working last week doing lessons, so I just I didn't get quite as much thought into the tee times as I should have.
No, I'm not going to let you take the fall on that one. I'm pretty sure we were backed up all the times because Alex Potts kept throwing OB.
Oh, I was going to just blame Randy because he's not here.
Yeah. The other thing was I had Justin Muccelli on my card, and for new listeners, he throws an absolute bomb of a throw on pretty much any shot that he possibly can. So anytime that we're on a par 4 or something where we could potentially throw while the card ahead of us is still on the hole, we're sitting there waiting because we know Justin could reach them on just about any shot. So that certainly didn't help either.
After waiting for you guys to finish on hole 14, we threw our drives, and then, we're in that little collection zone before you make that 90-degree turn towards the basket, and you guys were on 15. And I saw Justin walking down the fairway, and he made it about 40 feet off the tee pad, and I saw him put his bag down, and I was like, oh no, Justin didn't make it through the gap on 15.
Yeah, he was struggling a bit towards the end. But yeah, you could tell he wasn't happy with how he was playing.
He got me by 1, so he still at least did the bare minimum, the first objective.
Was he tired from playing 4 rounds before?
I wouldn't be surprised.
The day before the tournament, Justin, I think he played 1 round, then helped me build the short tee pad for hole 10, and then played another quick round while I did my course walkthrough that night. He also went and played the Porcupine Springs course with Chris Dahl before the flex start. So He definitely got a lot of golf in.
Have you gotten any feedback regarding the changes to hole 3 and 5 or anything like that?
No, not too much. Looking at the scores, hole 3 is certainly more of a challenge, but I'm wary to call it more of a challenge. Just statistically speaking, there was only 1 birdie on it for the day. It played very close to just par. It might have been 3.1 kind of thing. But I think that players just don't know how to play it yet.
Yep.
I think that once people start figuring out their lines a little bit more, they're going to have not a much easier time with that hole, but there is going to be a little bit more scoring separation on it. It's kind of an awkward spot on the course where I can't do too much with it. I feel like I would much rather have a really great hole 4 and a fine hole 3 than switch that around, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely.
I parked the old basket. I know that.
3 out of 4 of us would have been under the old basket for 3, within 5 feet of the pin.
That's disc golf.
Yeah, we just couldn't figure out how to not throw the old version.
Yeah, I think it's a better hole. I think it has a little bit more risk reward on it. It makes you want to throw towards those bushes on the right-hand side a little bit more.
Yeah.
I'm still thinking about taking out a bush or 2 here and there, that one kind of in the middle of the fairway. I kind of like the fact that it makes you throw up, though.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm excited to make the other changes on the course. I recently found the longer tee pad on hole 12, that kind of stuff, the new basket location on hole 2. But right now, my focus is going to be getting those red tees in. Right now, the red tee is playing off of 4 paver tee pads for the course, which is pretty cool, but I'm looking forward to having them playing off of all 18.
I was trying to find the stats for the monthly and having difficulty.
Yeah, there's no service up at Greg's place. So a bunch of people's scores did not actually go in for that. I think it was all Jeff with chicken scratch on a notebook, probably.
All right. Well, did anybody here play that?
I did not well. Well, so Adam Nelson's partner, Melissa, and I went up together, but we had my 2 kids in tow with us, and it was 1,000 degrees and very buggy. So it made things a little bit difficult, but still a fun time. Melissa hadn't been out to the course before, and Greg's courses have a lot to them, a lot of silly, fun stuff out there on the course, and the holes are short and quirky. So we still had a good time. We just were getting eaten alive by bugs and had some whiny children in tow.
You've played that course before?
Yeah, so actually when I got up to Greg's little trailer that he has there, he reminded me that last year I kind of crushed everyone and shot 5 down on the short course. So he reminded me of that, and then I proceeded to play and shoot 10 over this time.
I've never played there, so you mentioned quirky stuff. Anything of note?
Well, if you've ever played with Greg, especially at like doubles, he tries to hand off like really random things like a box of 100-year-old books or like a large pumpkin or some funny thing that he found around his house. Well, first of all, the tee pads are different on every hole. Quite a few of them have old rugs as the tee pad, like fancy little rugs that you would have in your house, not just like scraps of carpet.
Any shag carpeting?
Yeah. He's got like little statues. One of the baskets sits up on an old wooden spool that, holds giant things of wire. There's like a Santa Claus that you aim at on one hole before it dog legs, stuff like that all over the course.
So after CPS and then J Park, you're going to Porcupine Springs? Is that what you're telling us?
Oh, yeah. Now that course doesn't need any work. It's perfect.
All right. Nobody else played up there?
No.
All right. That's cool. So no results. Sorry, Craig. There's only like 6, looks like 6 actually registered, like 6 or 7.
Yeah, there weren't that many people when I was there. I couldn't really stick around, though, because I had the kids, so I had to get out of there quick. But, people hung out and grilled and played together. Looked like a good time.
Yeah, it sounded like last week that it was just unfortunate timing, too, because right with the flex.
Yeah, Randy and I were trying to figure that out if he could get home so I could go without the children. But yeah, a lot of the players of the flex playing right in the middle of the day made it challenging to do both.
Yeah, I will definitely be more conscious of that. Sorry, Greg. That's the one monthly that I make sure I make every year besides first tracks. That was just bad timing. I kind of messed up the scheduling, so I switched it kind of last minute and then didn't realize it until like a month later. Greg was like, what the hell?
Yeah, I wasn't pointing that out to throw that at you.
No, you're good.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. Nowadays, it's just very difficult to,
It's a good problem to have, right? Like you want to have more stuff for more people. And also CTK and Porcupine Springs are quite the hike. So if you've got to pick one, you've got to pick one. But they're both fun events at great courses, and yeah, again, it's a good problem to have. More events coming up so more people can play.
Nice. So as you guys know, I started doing the Player of the Week thing, right? I got a message. Can anybody guess who this message is from?
I know exactly who this message is from because he told me about it.
Oh, it's not Evan Parsley, Corey. I got a message from Joe Karen. So he says, just finished this week's podcast. Just wanted to give you my opinion. The weekend review and tournament summaries are the things I look forward to the most each week. Disappointing when you guys bypass them. I like hearing how local people are doing in their events and getting some recognition on how they do. And when I talk to people at the podcast, that seems to be what they like too. New England Team Challenge, I couldn't care less about. New York Team Challenge is good. Disc or No Disc is funny and entertaining and a good way to wrap up the week. So don't go skipping out on the weekend review. I mean, Will Byrne posts a message on Facebook and I do what he asks. So I'm very easy. So I figured that we could go through last week in disc golf.
A little bit of context for this.
Mm-hmm.
I was not here last week, but I did listen to last week's episode today. One of the things that probably spurred this a little bit is that the weekend review that you skipped to do Player of the Week, Joe Karen got an ace at Grandmore Dubs.
That's great, Joe. We don't talk about aces. It's talk about positions.
That's true.
Yeah, Joe's great, but yeah.
Joe's the reason we started doing putting leagues. So
that's right.
We can't discount his opinion.
No. I told him, I said, Pat really likes feedback.
No, I do. I love it.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
I mean, I try to do fun stuff for me, but the only reason I do anything is for other people to listen to. So I'm all about.
Yeah. I'm sure that a lot of people do like weekend review. I also kind of see human tendency to assume everybody else thinks the way that we do. So when he says, I think everybody likes weekend review, might just be like, well, I like it. So
absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Now, mind you, if I hear 2 people next week saying I hate weekend review, I might get rid of it. So but I got one that said they like it, so I'm going to do it. So last week in disc golf, July 8th through the 14th, Monday, Colonial Acres doubles had 17 players, a 3-way tie for first place. Willie Harrison by himself, Christopher, Evan, and Chuck teamed up with David Seaman, and Benji Farrell and Brandon Klein. All 3 teams shot -10. at Colonial Acres doubles. I don't know if there was a tiebreaker or whatnot, but Gunk's Monday dubs had a 3-way tie for third. Bradford Jolie and Dylan Brown shot a -5. So did Brian Hauser and Mark Dickinson. And Phil Frigali for Gile and Zach McDonald. Second place at -6, Ben Vargas and Nick Warren. And your winners, -8, Jackson Quinn and Dennis Flynn. Quinn Flynn are your winners. Prospect Park dubs at 27. A tie for second at -13 between Pete Fitzgerald and Nick Cunningham, tied Joshua Lee and Troy Vasari. Your winners at -15, Jay Gorsage and Jeremy Martin. Saratoga Spa random dubs had 27 players. Third place at -13 was Charles Carpenter Jr. III and Dylan Marsing. Peter Hodge and Joe Ponessa shot a -15 for second place. And Parker Cerrone and Cody Conine were your winners at -16. And Field of Dreams dubs had 17 players. Michael Davis and Andrew Brown tied at second place with -10, with Anthony D. Ayudo and Alexandra Lyons. And your winner at -11, Justin Choka as a Cali. Tuesday, to get me to stop talking, we got J-Dubs Points Championship Week 7. Corey.
Week 17.
17. Week 17.
It was another hot as shit day on Tuesday, and we played the J West 19 layout, which is just the OG J West 18 with hole 36. 10 people showed up. We had Ethan Hatters paired with Danny Parton. They were the only team to hit the pretty tough birdie bank by getting hole 1, hole 14, then 30 and 34. So holes 1 and 14, hard ones to get there. Anyways, they came in tied for second with myself and Joe Jaskulka. I took the CTP on hole 11, and Andrew Teague and Justin Muccelli with another win. They went 11 down to win it by 1 stroke, with AT throwing in a birdie from what he says is 170 feet near the white tee. And I remember they were finishing on hole 1 while we were finishing on hole 36, and we were kind of trying to figure out like if we needed to do anything crazy to win or tie. And they were taking a long time to put the scores in. Like, I'm pretty sure they were done with the hole. And I'm like, are these guys just doing this on purpose because they know that we're finishing up on hole 36? But I think someone was just being lazy. Anyways, congrats to AT and Justin Muccelli for another win. And next week we are, well, I'm not going to talk about next week. It's on Tuesday and tomorrow. So,
but that's the fun part, Corey.
Yeah. So week 18, we're going to be playing the J East layout, and it's supposed to be another scorcher of a day. So I want to do something a little different. Show up with a cooler full of beers, water, and Gatorade.
J East, is that the most parkside?
That would be J West. J East is like mostly like the OG Woods holes.
All right, let me know when you're playing J West.
Probably about 3 more weeks.
All right. CTK Singles League. Jaimen, what do you got?
We had a pretty good turnout because I actually posted that it's happening for the first time in like 2 months. So we had 14 people out, a lot of new faces, which was really nice. I don't remember all of the scores, but I just remember Jay Gorsage coming out and absolutely destroying his handicap. He created it based off of his last 2 tournament performances at the course. So I think his handicap was 9 over, and then proceeded to shoot 5 under, which is, I believe, was the best round he's ever shot there, which means that with his handicap, he shot 14 under and just kind of obliterated everybody. A lot of really great scores, though. I think like everybody who cashed shot better than 7 under with their handicap. So it's cool to see a lot of people out there improving at disc golf. And it's cool to see a bunch of people coming out to league because it sucks outside right now.
Yeah, and I heard up until Wednesday, right?
It's just being hot?
Yeah, that I had heard. My wife said something about a heat advisory through like Wednesday.
I think.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I don't look at the forecast too much anymore. It's just hot.
Good point. Also on Tuesday, Kisco Tuesday dubs had 15 players. Damian Seedman and Jason Adamski tied with Philip Dragalis and Simon Ramon at -7 for third place. Second place, Chris Schofield and Dominic Veltri at -12. And your winners, Mitchell Pipes and Kyle Lumsden, shot a -14. Wilcox South Hatchet dubs had 17 players. Scott Mosier and Nick Warren came in third at -9. Steve Rush and John Tamburino came in second at -11. And Alden Slack is your winner, as I assume Cali, at -12. Skyland doubles had 7. That was won by Benjamin Joseph and Tibor Peleni at a -13. And Long Island Disc Golf Summer League had 29 players. James Green came in third. Filth Raskinator in second. And 2022 Hudson Valley Disc Golf Podcast Player of the Year, Antonio Albert, is your winner. Moving on to Wednesday, Stony Kill Random Dubs had 29, Alex. Is that right?
I want to say 30. We have at least one player who's pretty consistently there who's not on UDisc. Yeah, it was a nice turnout. 30 is a real good number to have. Unfortunately, nobody really played well. We had some strong teams out there, some classic Stony Killers being paired up, but 8 down was the cap. We had 3 teams at 8 down, and normally you'd need double digits to win any given week.
I think it was the heat.
Yeah, it must have been the heat because, it was very hot, very sticky, lots of humidity and all that. So
a lot of guys picking up their bag with the right hand, probably.
However you want to make the excuses for it, nobody really shot well. I unfortunately was just a stroke behind the big log jam at first. I played with Alan Ketzer, who's absolutely a classic. Just had a kid recently, so that's awesome for him. So yeah, that was fun. But we only shot 7 down, so just outside the playoff. I don't remember who won the playoff because I left before that, but yeah, it's always nice playing Stony Kill.
Yeah, heck yeah. So yeah, 3-way tie. Shen Creek Dubs, week 15, had 21 players. Tied for third place with -8, Joe Karen and Dylan Marsing. Second place, Jared Borelli and Cody Conine at -11. And your winners, Ethan Hatters and Jesse Nyman at -12. Deadbeat Dubs, they haven't played the last couple weeks because Jack was being screedy. Come on, nobody? Screed? He was doing a lot of T-pad work. Okay.
Yeah, no, I get it. I got it.
This week, 5 players shot a double front. Dave, I think Kimmelman and somebody named Zach shot -6. Birdie Bank rolls on. Next week, 3 out of 5 will claim the bank. So he's really trying to get rid of that Birdie Bank. Paint Bureau Pro League. Corey, how'd that go?
Yeah, pretty good. It was at Stephen P. Wallace during potentially some crazy weather. We didn't get any rain, but we did get some pretty gnarly winds. Josh wasn't able to make it, so I handled the administration part of it. So I played okay, I suppose. I was getting pretty lucky. I played with Kaitlyn and Justin Muccelli. Oh, wait. Yeah, me. Who else did we play with, Kaitlyn? It was me, you, Muccelli, and Gorsage, right? Jason Gorsage. But yeah, coming to the last 2 holes, Tyler Gannon was already in at 4 down, and I was at 6 down. So all I had to do was just par my last 2 holes, 3 and 4, which are super easily parable. And I literally screwed them up in the most spectacular fashion. I bogeyed my second to last hole, and then the last hole, I just need a par. Just don't throw it OB, lay up to the basket, tap it in, done. I did a great drive, didn't throw it OB. I had a little jump putt layup. I hit this stupid mound that is the pin goes into. Right underneath the basket, there's a mound of something, and my disc hits that flat and just gets up and turns into a wheel and goes 25 feet. And I had this 25-foot headwind putt to try to win. And of course I'd miss it. I tap in a bogey. Now it's a playoff between me and Tyler Gannon. He's a lefty. We throw hole 1, which might be a little easier as a lefty. We both par it, and then hole 2 is not a lefty hole unless you have a forehand. And I managed to park it, and he had a obstructed 30, 35 footer to make, which he didn't. So in the end, just don't lie. But I was just looking at all of the rounds in the past year and a half or so, and it was one of the lowest rated Paint Bureau Pro League winning rounds outside of, I think, one other one last year. But it was just kind of weird to see. Well, there wasn't a lot of the heavy hitters weren't there, but usually at Paint Bureau Pro League, it takes 1,000 rated round to win, or 1,000 rated round is what wins it. So I took a little break from that last week when I took the win, but it was fun.
I feel like it was so gusty on Wednesday. So the scores weren't as good, but the ratings kind of were similar to a regular round there. So I think that kind of went into play. That was my first time experimenting playing since pulling a muscle in my lat. So I was in a pretty good amount of pain, but shot okay still. So I'm happy about my round.
Kaitlyn was doing what Kaitlyn does and just draining 50 footers effortlessly.
My drives were horrible, and then I would leave myself with 50 footers, and yeah, I made a couple C2s and probably the majority of my C1 putts, yeah.
Were you just using Paint Bureau Pro League as practice for Fun in the Sun?
No, I mean, because it was totally different layout, right? So.
Oh, yeah, good point. Never mind.
Yeah.
Attracted.
Yeah.
What do they have, the Blue or the Beer League, or what's it called? There's some kind of other layout that's a mix, right?
Brewski layout.
Brewski,
Brewski.
What did I say, Beer League?
Similar.
And Kaitlyn, I don't think we've had you on since you're over 900.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Congratulations on that.
Thanks. Yeah, exciting.
You plan on staying there?
Yeah, I won't be too mad if I dip back down. I think, I'm just happy to hit it, and where I go from here, it doesn't matter.
Well, I mean, it's more end of year, right? Like you want to finish the year over 9. So if you dip a little bit and then go back up, right?
Yeah.
Especially if you got a lat injury and didn't you have malaria or something you said earlier? So
yeah, I don't have too high expectations right now just because of my injury, but I'm happy. So
heck yeah. And you got 57 tournaments coming up, so plenty of time to move it up.
Yeah, and that means my bad rounds won't affect me as much. So,
but neither will your good ones.
I know.
All right. Also on Wednesday, I've never seen this before, but the Regeneron Wednesday League had 9 players. Arthur Warad and Christopher Santo won it at -12. Thursday, DisB Club Year 2 SPW Whites. Benji Farrell came in 3rd, Mel Gallagher in 2nd, and Greg Kurtz is your winner. CPS Thursday Dubs, 3rd place, Charles Gordon and Kenji Klein, shot -10. Dave Chaikin and Troy Vasari at -11 came in 2nd. And your winners at -15, my nemesis Brandon Klein and Tyler Gannon.
The Cannon.
You're talking about Tyler Gannon, right? Not
Tyler the Cannon Gannon.
All right. They had 20 people there. I don't know if I mentioned that. Also on Thursday, Long Island Thursday Dubs, Josh Winkler and Rich K shot -12, come in 3rd place. Paul Joseph and DG Pete and 2nd place at -13. And Ron Gallardi and James Green are your winners at -14. Friday, TGI FDR Dubs, Evan Keogh and Dominic Veltri are your winners at -8. Skylands Friday Handicap at Oasis had 15 players. Tie for 2nd, Michael Baglioni and Charlie Holmgren shot -6. And Scott Spellman is your winner at -10. That's a handicap league. That's not accurate, but it's the best I got. SPW Dubs League played Blues, 13 players. Tie for 3rd, Eric Bossenbrook and Aaron shot a -6, tied with Tim Martino and Randy Bemis. And your winner's also a tie. John Duda and Adam Nelson shot -9. They tied Jay Malloy and Jessica Lasasso. Mike Zanchelli played the Hooligan Discs Maple Flex, and I actually spoke with him also after the event. You guys want to hear that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, let's hear Mike. Okay, all right, here we go. Mikey Botles.
I've had this tourney circled on my calendar since I signed up. The goal was to win the first Flex tournament ever on the Diamond layout at Maple. Mission accomplished. I told myself when it was just me signed up for my division, if no one else signs up, I'll move so I can play some competition. I don't believe in cheap wins with no other competitors, so I was stoked when I saw a few more register. This win is special for many reasons. It's my first win in Mar 40. It's at historic Maple Hill on a pro layout. My great sponsor at Hooligan Discs was running it, so I wanted to perform well. I went into the tourney with a mindset that I'll take my medicine and play boring golf. Well, let me tell you, on a tough layout like this that can show its teeth numerous times, I succeeded. I hit my lines, had a decent upshot game, and surprisingly was terrible putting. Disc golf is funny like that. Not how I expected to win, but I got it done.
Nice shooting, Mikey Botles. He won Ma 40. I just had fun with
yeah, no, I like it.
So Saturday was, of course, the CTK Flex. Sunday, we had the Fun in the Sun. But we also had the DisCap Sunday Tag League at Crandall. Had 12 players. Joe Karen came in 3rd at a -4. Cody Conine in 2nd at -6. And Eric Conine won it with a -7. And just so you guys know, I did do Player of the Week. Based on what we heard, anybody have a guess?
Oof, I got nothing.
I think it's either Ethan Hatters. Yeah, I'll leave it at 1.
Ethan Hatters, okay. Well, there were 3 players that had 5 points. We had Dominic Veltri, Ethan Hatters, and Corey Cook all had 5 points, but they didn't even come in 3rd. We had a tie for 3rd at 6 points. Brandon Klein, because he won Colonial Acres Dubs and CPS Thursdays, and Tyler Gannon, who won CPS Thursdays with Brandon Klein, I believe, and I gave him 3 points for Paint Bureau Pro League. I gave each 3 points for the win. Cody Conine had 7 points. Saratoga Spa Random Dubs win, Shan Creek Dubs 2nd, and DisCap Sunday Tag League 2nd. But your winner won SPW Dubs League, Fun in the Sun, and CTK Flex in their division, Jessica Lasasso. All right, so that is your Player of the Week. Anybody have anything they want to talk about?
Stony Kill Scramble registration is officially up, so if you want to play the Stony Kill Scramble, you can sign up for that now.
Who's going to beat me and Mucelli?
Me and Adam.
Are you just playing doubles, Jaimen?
Yep.
Alex, have you looked at any of the registrations, like the notes that people put on there?
I haven't looked at any notes, no.
Okay.
Did you put something in?
Yeah. Well, I didn't. Anthony did. He's the one that handled our registration.
Is he coming for me at States or something like that?
Not particularly, but also maybe.
Yeah, now I gotta look it up. You guys don't want to play with Kyle Hirsch round one? I said
Kyle was like, I'm gonna request that we play round one together, him and Troy and me and Anthony. And I was like, I'm gonna request that we don't and see who has more pull.
Well, they didn't actually put it in any sort of comments, so you're officially the first request I've gotten.
You should make it a bidding war.
Yeah, make it a fundraiser.
Kyle's just gonna whip out his dad's credit card, and I'm gonna be paying with my cold heart, my hard-earned money.
I don't care. Added cash for me and Justin.
I'm not worried about you guys.
I'll probably put it towards whatever the heck we're paying the arborist or whoever's getting hole 1 and 2 back in shape. Whatever we're paying them, we should pay them more.
Yeah,
that's fair. That's a good point.
I think I might end up signing up for doubles this year. I normally only play singles, but I've had a couple of people who are like asking me if I was going to play and if that sort of thing.
What did it come up at family dinner? Your mom, or your sister?
They normally figure out how to play together on their own, but I think I might end up playing with Sam Richter since we were 1 and 2 in the overall weekly league last year. So,
ooh, Stony Killers.
Yeah. I do have one other thing. My mom and dad were at a music festival that I don't remember the name of and may or may not be able to look up quickly. They had a little bit of a disc golf tournament and they both did really well at that. So I have to make that. It was the Dead of Summer Music Festival. Don't have any details other than the name, but they played well at the disc golf there.
Nice.
Where was it? Do you remember? Do you know where?
Let me Google it because I'm not sure.
You're supposed to be the prepared one, Alex.
I was not.
I will say that Mindy felt bad that she couldn't go to Fun in the Sun, so she actually made like little kneeling pads for every player in the tournament by hand, which was super cool. So we all have those for our bags now.
It was in Manchester, Vermont.
Oh, at Hunter Park?
Looks like Hunter Park, yeah.
I've got something quick to throw in there. Jacob and Amanda Dunbar, who are an absolute power couple, are running at the MVP Circuit Challenge at Crandall Park on August 24th. Registration is open. They do an awesome job with their events. This is going to be a really fun one. I really wish I could make it, but I'm not going to be in town. Get signed up for that. And if you do get signed up for it, let me know so I can have you buy me a couple of the watermelon Axiom pitches.
I have one thing that's totally unrelated to disc golf, but last week in the podcast, Pat, I just wanted to say I'm really disappointed in everyone else for not getting your Chumbawamba reference.
Oh, I got it. I
was very upset and started singing the song, and it was stuck in my head for the rest of the night.
That makes it all worth it.
If it makes you feel better, I still don't
one
get
person got it. A whiskey drink,
You're a
a
disappointment.
lager drink, a cider drink. Yeah.
Is that Sesame Street?
He sings the songs that remind him of the good times. He sings the songs that remind him of the better times.
Did you guys want to do a quiz?
Yeah, we can skip base because I already fucking skipped it on accident, apparently.
Oh, Randy did too. He was very upset about it.
I was so mad. I'm like, I see how my picks are doing. I'm sure I picked some of these Europeans, and it's like, what? I didn't make picks? What the hell? The one thing you're supposed to do.
Oh, no.
Just make the picks.
No Randy?
Nah, he's out. He was busy getting the kids to bed, so.
Absolutely. So who's your partner?
Ooh, I don't know. I was initially thinking my fellow teammate and co-captain, Alex Pott.
Hey.
All right, so Alex and Kat versus Jaimen and Corey.
SK versus DisCaptains, a classic.
Time to show who's the farm team. Hope it's not us.
This might not be the best way to solve that, Corey.
I regret saying that.
The farm team that's in the division higher than the, what do you call the non-farm team?
That's actually a great question.
Yeah, the premier team,
varsity,
the varsity team.
What did you guys say? This is the Stony Killers.
Yeah, Stony Killers versus DisCaptains.
All right.
I think I'm the most medium player in Skip Ace there ever has been.
I would take medium over being the worst.
I'm just like middle every single time.
Wait, did you say Skip Ace or Trivia?
Oh, Skip Ace. I can't. I wish I could be in the middle in Trivia. Are you kidding?
Never mind. I'm at the top. I can't be underselling myself in Skip Base. I'm out here crushing it, even not making picks or picking myself.
Yeah, you're probably still beating me.
All right, Stony Killers. I got I actually got 3, but I don't think the third's ready. So we're going to do 2 categories, 1 or 2.
Ooh, what do you want, Alex?
I don't know. That's something I should really start keeping track of. Is like which one I do better with, 1 or 2, so I can have a better answer for this. But
Kyle's gonna love hearing that.
I say 1 because we're the first ones.
1? All right.
Category 1?
Yep.
Sure.
I don't know if that would help at all. It's literally what category I finished first. But I will say that a lot of times one of the categories is a lot easier than the other category. So we shall see. But question 1, category 1. Of the 4 thrown objects in Olympic track and field events, which one weighs the least? Of the 4 thrown objects in Olympic track and field events, which one weighs the least?
All right, so we got to figure out what the 4 thrown objects are. So we got javelin.
Yep.
We got the shot put.
Yeah.
Discus. Hammer throw.
Oh, I didn't think about that one. Yeah. I feel like the javelin would be, but I actually have no idea.
I think it's got to be between javelin and discus because shot put's really heavy. Hammer throw, I'm pretty sure, is really heavy.
I only ran winter track in high school, and I was very okay at it, so I didn't even do any of the throwing events. And I believe javelin is no longer legal in Massachusetts because of like a death that happened at like a high school track event.
Oh, no.
So I never got to try it. I have no strong opinion on this one, Alex.
Was javelin an answer? No, it was like spear or something. No, but javelin was an answer earlier, wasn't it? I'm getting way too into my own head. Maybe javelin isn't even one of the 4 things that are thrown right.
Would any of them sound like a disc name out of the 4?
I could see there being a discus.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure
okay
there
with it
is
if
a
you
javelin.
Shoot.
I'm all thrown off.
I don't have a strong opinion on it either.
I feel like javelin has been used, so I feel like discus would be the way to go.
All right, let's go for it.
All right.
Going with discus?
Yep.
Yeah.
What do you got, disc captains?
Dang it.
It's got to be javelin.
I mean, that was what I was thinking before Alex reminded me what the 4th track and field event was, if that's even correct.
The hammer throw? He's right. But it's like a hammer throw is like a shot put on a chain.
Added weight. I mean, yeah, javelin.
I think it's javelin. My reasoning behind that is I think that's the only one that's measured in meters.
Okay, I didn't really think about that. How far they're actually throwing it. Yeah, okay, I'm with you for sure then. Javelin.
Okay, javelin.
Is the javelin a disc?
Yep, it sure is.
That's a great disc name. It's got to be, yeah.
Gateway Disc Sports, May 20th, 2024.
I talked us out of it.
Damn. That's all right. I had no clue.
But Alex, you were right on like every point because I asked this exact same question before. It was AMC cars. At the time, it wasn't a disc.
Oh, that's, yeah.
From episode 214, March 15th, 2024.
Question 5, category 2. Of the 4 thrown objects in Olympic track and field events, which one weighs the least?
Javelin.
Yeah, it's got to be.
Javelin, hammer, discus, shot put, javelin.
Yep.
Track coach.
Is the javelin a disc?
Come on.
Is the javelin a disc? It's kind of a badass disc name too. I like that.
It's got to be.
Like when you want to stab somebody, but like from over there. Let's throw this spear at them. I say yes.
Yeah, it's got to be.
You go with that, Kevin?
Yes.
I'm sorry. No.
Dude, still getting stabbed from 80 meters away though.
I've been holding this since May 20th because of that frickin' spear question, and you guys brought up javelin, so I was like, I can't use it right away.
From episode 225, May 31st, 2024.
All right, question 4, category 1. The Roman pilum, a type of what thrown weapon, would bend or break on landing so it could not be reused by enemies?
Javelin? That's something, because what else would bend and break? Would be like...
I mean, my first thought was spear, but I think it's like more specific to thrown, so javelin.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Let's go javelin.
What do you think, Potts?
Oh.
Man, it wasn't a javelin. I was all in on javelin.
Yeah, even before Randy said it.
But yeah, no, it wasn't a disc before, now it is.
I had no idea. Well, I didn't remember that you had asked this one before. I'm like, ooh, is this going to be another car? Is this going to be another car topic?
Well, this captain's what category? 1 or 2?
That was 1.
Yeah.
I kind of want to feel 1 out again, Jaimen. Let 2 be a mystery.
Let's do it. Wait, Corey, do you want to think about this more? Because if we go with 1, then we create a straight line, and they'll be able to use that for the third question. But if we choose 2, it leaves everything ambiguous, and then they have to define it for us.
I like that better, actually. Yeah, yeah, good points. Let's go with 2, Pat.
Sorry to interrupt, Pat.
No, you're fine. But that is the most strategy I think Jaimen's ever used in Disc or No Disc.
You're not even sort of wrong.
All right, question 1, category 2. Panamax of San Rafael, California introduced what type of protection for PCs in 1981? Panamax of San Rafael, California introduced what type of protection for PCs in 1981?
I kind of want to say it's Surge.
That's what I was going to say, too. Surge protection. I feel like that's too early for viruses.
Probably not, but also it reminds me of a badass soda from back in my child. Surge.
Okay. I like Surge.
And
we can go with Surge.
Disc, right?
Yeah, it's a Discraft.
Yeah, I say
distance
Surge.
driver. And it's just misleading enough.
It reminds me of a Beverly Hills Cop character. Is the Surge a disc?
Yeah, it is.
Nice. It is.
Discraft, February 8th, 2006. Nice. All right, Stony Killers in the hole.
Yeah. Oh, lots of quiz left.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have a preference, Kat?
I have no idea what either could be, Alex.
Yeah, I'm happy with
Looks
either.
Looks like your strat paid off, Jaimen.
If we want to go with Jaimen's strategy of like not a straight line, we could go back to 1.
Sure.
All right.
All right. Question 2, category 1. To protect the sword hand, fencers wear one long white glove called what? To protect the sword hand, fencers wear one long white glove called what?
I have absolutely no idea, Alex. I'm sorry.
I also don't know. Long glove could be a bracer.
I'm literally good with anything. I have absolutely no idea. I'm sorry.
I think that's the best I'm coming up with.
Sure.
This captain?
Wow, it wasn't bracer?
Dang it.
Man. After you said that, I'm like, wow, I never really put two and two together of all the games I played back in the day, like what a bracer actually was. Jaimen, you got anything?
I was going to say Gauntlet.
Ooh, that's another good one, actually. I like that. Yeah, I would say Gauntlet.
Is the Gauntlet a disc?
Yeah, that's like another badass disc name.
Yeah, it's a Latitude 64.
Latitude 64, November 16th, 2015. All right, you guys want category 1 or 2?
I say 2.
Okay.
All right, question 2, category 2. What word can be used to describe a cord used to ignite an explosive or to blend by melting together? What word can be used to describe a cord used to ignite an explosive or to blend by melting together?
Fuse?
Yep.
Yeah.
You guys good? Is the fuse a disc?
Yep.
Latitude 64, April 4th, 2010.
Damn, Alex. We got to pick it up.
Yeah. We can do the same thing right back to him, hopefully.
Yeah.
All right, Stony Killers.
Number 2 does seem easier.
Yeah, I have no clue on 1. 2 seems like it's already got a trend going.
Yeah, I'm definitely good with going with number 2. I have an inkling of number 1.
Okay.
But I'm also relatively not confident. And if it is what I think it is, I don't think I'm going to know the answers.
All right, fair enough. You want to go 2 then?
Sounds good.
All right.
All right, question 3, category 2. In CB slang, what would a trucker say to interrupt a conversation or request to use a channel? In CB slang, what would a trucker say to interrupt a conversation or request to use a channel?
It's got to be breaker, yeah?
Oh, yeah, good one.
Good with that?
I like it. Yeah.
Is the breaker a disc?
Breaker 19, breaker 19.
Is the breaker a disc? Could be like a DGA disc.
Oh, yeah. They do have like wave-themed ones.
Yeah.
Ocean.
I think I'm happy with yes.
Yeah, I'm cool with it. Let's go yes, Pat.
Disc Golf Association, February 22nd, 2013.
Nailed it, Alex.
Proline
All
breaker.
you.
Nice.
But Proline's the plastic, so, right?
Sounds like it.
Yeah, you guys know better than I do. Disc Captain, what do you got? 1 or 2?
I'm good with either of them. I have not paid attention to the categories yet. I'll be real.
2 sounds like electrical components or activities, and 1 sounds like medieval weaponry and armor. But 2 definitely seems easier.
Okay, let's go with 2.
All right, question 4, category 2. At first, what measure of the space between 2 rails varied quite a bit and trains had trouble switching tracks? At first, what measure of the space between 2 rails varied quite a bit and trains had trouble switching tracks?
Shit.
Distance between 2 rails. So like the
space between the rails. Huh. Damn it. I feel like every now and then I see this stupid, like, potentially fake Facebook meme that talks about why roads are as wide as they are, and it started with railroads are as wide as they are, and it started with, like, carriage wheels and how wide carriages used to be. Not span. I'm going to hate hearing this answer.
And it's electrical, right? You said?
Yes. That's what it sounded like. The space between two rails. Can you say it again, Pat?
At first, what measure of the space between two rails varied quite a bit, and trains had trouble switching tracks?
Okay, yeah, it was train rails.
The gap between two train rails. They have names for everything. The gap between two train rails. That's a terrible disc name. Resistance. I'm not like coming up with anything. Circuit. Switch. Oh wait. No, that was in the question.
I don't know. Span for a complete
span.
Answer.
All right. Yeah, I can't think of anything. It's definitely gonna be super obvious. Yep. All right.
Yeah.
Span? What do you got, Stony Killers?
I have a pretty good guess.
What are you thinking, Alex?
I think it's the gauge.
Oh, that's a good one. I was just trying to go through other like electrical terms in my head, and none of them made enough sense. I like it.
You guys good?
Yeah, gauge, Pat.
Is the gauge a disc?
What
I don't
company
know.
would have it if it was?
It's not an MVP disc.
Yeah. Latitude has the fuse, but Breaker was DJI.
And Surge was Discraft.
Right. Gauge. Gonna throw my gauge.
I don't think there's been a no yet, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything.
Right. I'm not really feeling it, but I have no clue.
Yeah. Generally, yes is a pretty good answer if you're not sure, but I'm also feeling like no. So I think we can go no here.
Okay. Yeah, let's do it.
No?
No.
Correct.
Legacy Discs, September 25th, 2013.
Of course.
One of the major reasons the North won the Civil War. They had standard gauge, whereas the South didn't.
Oh.
Just busting out some of my history knowledge.
Jaimen, I do not feel bad about not knowing that one. That is not what I was going to think.
Nope. It makes perfect sense now that I hear it, but like that's not. Yeah, I'm not like, oh, duh. I did used to throw the gauge. That was a great disc. Very straight mid-range.
Oh. So we're halfway through. Looks like 8-3, Alex.
That's what I got.
All right.
Yeah,
what
same.
category you guys got?
Do we stick with 2?
Sure. Why not?
Keep it running.
Yeah.
All right. Question 5, category 2. What term can be used to describe a person used to transmit information or a structure containing electrical wiring? What term can be used to describe a person used to transmit information or a structure containing electrical wiring?
Wow.
A person used to transmit info. It's not going to be like a messenger
I know. That was the only thing coming to my head, too.
or a box. Can I hear the question one more time?
What term can be used to describe a person used to transmit information or a structure containing electrical wiring?
The only other like electrical term I can think of is like circuit.
Yeah, I don't think it's a circuit.
Yeah.
A structure containing wires. Dang, I'm not coming up with much of anything.
Like no. The only other thing I can think of for like people and wires is like a soundboard or something to like relay, like a person relaying information. That's the only one I can come up with, but it doesn't sound like a disc name.
I'm thinking like switchboard operator or something.
Yeah,
like
switchboard's good too.
Yeah, I think switchboard is the best thing I'm thinking of.
Sure. Yeah, no, that works.
Disc captains?
Conduit?
Yep.
Oh, damn.
Is the conduit a disc?
Yeah.
Don't really like that one.
Don't like it.
Yeah, I say no.
All right. No.
You are correct. All right. 1 or 2.
Let's just keep going through 2.
Sounds good.
All right, final question, category 2. In 1885, American electrical engineer William Stanley invented what device for changing energy from AC to DC? In 1885, American electrical engineer William Stanley invented what device for changing energy from AC to DC?
From AC to DC.
This is probably a very basic thing.
Well, the first thing I was thinking was inverter. Like you'd have a car inverter. That goes from DC to AC, although I don't know if an inverter is just a common term for anything, a device that changes from one to the other. Damn, don't they use like, could be getting this totally wrong, I'm not an electrical engineer, but I don't know, like diode? Like they use like diodes to...
I don't know. I'm trying to, like, anode, that's a disc name. I don't know what any of that is. I'm just trying to like remember the time when they were starting to go from one to the other, trying to think of like what something would look like in electronics back then. I have no freaking clue. You know what I mean?
So if it goes from AC to DC, then it would be like an electric motor component.
Oh, okay. I guess I understand what you're saying.
I'm pretty sure like anything electrical that you plug into the wall actually converts to DC. I might be getting that wrong. Damn it. Inverter is my safe answer. I don't like it.
Okay. I have no actual reason to have any better answers, so I let's go with inverter.
Yeah, sure, just so I could hear the real answer. Inverter.
What do you got, Stony Killers?
My first thought was transformer, but I'm pretty sure that's not right.
Would it just be like converter.
Could be.
Because it's changing from one to the other.
Yeah.
Some weeks I feel like I get all these questions right and feel so good about myself. And this is not one of those weeks.
Yeah, sometimes we get the tech questions and sometimes we get the pop culture questions. And it's we've also run through this category specifically, so we might have some different thoughts when we get back to the first category.
True. You couldn't have chose like Disney movies again, Pat?
There's not a lot of disc named after Disney.
I was thinking it's been a long time since we had any Paw Patrol categories.
True.
Well, I will tell you this, and this is just a general comment. I'm not speaking to anybody in general, but if you make a suggestion, it's probably going to be a while before you hear that, because like Javelin, I want you to forget.
Yeah.
I'm not not naming names, Alex, but I'm just saying.
I liked my most recent suggestion. I'm excited to hear it.
Oh, wow, Alex. That's all I got is converter. I'm sorry. I don't have any clue for this one.
This is high-level electrical engineering. This is not my specialty. So, honestly, I'm good with converter.
All right.
You guys good with that?
Yep.
I would have stuck with transformer.
Oh, no.
That answer was more than meets the eye.
Oh.
But it is also not a disc.
Oh, well. We still have a chance. There's 8 points on the board.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We can do this.
You got the next question. This is question 3, category 1. Asked if he believes in ghosts. What soccer coach says I do, but more importantly, I think they need to believe in themselves. Asked if he believes in ghosts. What soccer coach says I do, but more importantly, I think they need to believe in themselves.
Come on, soccer fan. Let's go, Alex.
I mean, that sounds like something Ted Lasso would say.
I know. That's all I was thinking, too. Lasso could be a name for a disc, too.
Yeah, so...
I like it.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with Lasso.
Yeah.
Is the lasso a disc?
Nice. It's not a bad name.
So I remember Ted Lasso being the answer for a different question, and Corey pulled it out of his butt to get the answer. I don't remember anything else about the question, but if this is one that wasn't a disc and now it is a disc,
true,
that would be a reason why an answer would be repeated like that. So I feel like yes would be the way to go.
I'm cool with that. I like that thinking.
Mint Discs, April 27th, 2023.
I thought you guys were going to overthink that one again.
Dude, that's all I'm going to do anyway. So might as well just roll with whatever I'm feeling.
I thought there was a Ted Lasso answer before, but I couldn't find it in my research.
I was going to say, I don't remember ever saying a Ted Lasso, although I did think that I never watched the show.
What? Come on, Corey.
I did do a lariat one time, which is a type of lasso. So
I don't subscribe to mainstream media or pay for Netflix. I think it was a Netflix show, right?
It's Apple.
Well, don't even get me
Apple.
started. Oh, no. Let's move on, Pat. Next question.
All right. So question 4, category 1 for the DisCap. Used during the American Revolution, the Brown Bess was a type of what weapon, a precursor to the rifle? Used during the American Revolution, the Brown Bess was a type of what weapon, a precursor to the rifle?
It's got to be a musket, right?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, but I'm like, is a musket not a rifle?
Because a rifle has a bullet, and a musket you have to pack it.
A cannon. Yeah, I guess if the term rifle didn't start until they started having rifling in the barrel,
that part too,
spinning a bullet, then I guess that makes sense. But musket, it almost kind of seems like too much of a layup because it's definitely a disc too. But we won't overthink it. I'm fine with musket.
I think we should go with it.
Is the musket a disc?
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely should have switched it with gauntlet as far as difficulty, but that's cool. All right, final round. Stony Killers. Ferragamo introduced what floor scarring shoes whose name comes from the Italian for dagger? Ferragamo introduced what floor scarring shoes whose name comes from the Italian for dagger?
Do you know it, Kat?
No.
I think it's a stiletto.
Ah, that's so good. Yeah, that sounds great.
You guys good?
I'm pretty confident on that one.
Okay, yeah, stiletto.
Is the stiletto a disc?
Yep.
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like I've heard that before.
Latitude 64, May 30th, 2013. All right, final question. DisCap. What ancient weapon similar to the catapult was used to hurl large stone? What ancient weapon similar to a catapult was used to hurl large stone?
Trebuchet.
Yep, that's what I was going to say.
What do you got, Stony Killers?
Oh, what the? What
really?
Whoa.
I had written it down.
God,
I was already in on that.
Dang, yeah. They were so confident.
That backfired.
Okay, it's similar to a catapult, and we're hurling large stones. And it's not a trebuchet.
We'll write it off so fast. It was a good answer.
Well, it's apparently not a trebuchet because it's confirmed that it's not a trebuchet.
Pat baited us by having this the last question.
Yeah.
All right, so my initial thought it was not correct for what the category was. I mean, I think it's just weapons or
it looks like it.
Something similar. So unfortunately, that doesn't help us at all.
Yeah, I feel totally useless tonight. I'm sorry, Alex. I have absolutely no clue.
You get used to it.
Arms. They're just using their arms to throw the large stones. Can you hear the question one more time, just in case I missed something?
What ancient weapon similar to a catapult was used to hurl large stones?
Ancient weapon.
I'm going to be like kicking myself because I teach ancient civilizations every year.
Oh, you got a new part of the curriculum, whatever this answer is.
It's probably not a sling, because that's not large stones.
Yeah, like a slingshot, but it wouldn't be large. But that's like literally the only other thing I can think of. I got nothing. Sorry, Alex.
I'm not coming up with anything either. I was like 100% in on trebuchet.
I'm trying to think of like disc names too and can't think of anything.
Yeah, it's got to be like a West Side something.
I have no idea. You want to throw one out, Alex?
Is it an addle-addle?
We're looking for the ballista.
You know what? I was going to say, can I get a free guess? But I always picture ballistas, at least in the games I've played that had ballistas, that they're just shooting large-ass arrows. Like Warcraft.
Yeah, that's kind of how I pictured it.
Thanks, Warcraft 2.
Yeah, Tides of Darkness.
Latitude 64, December 19th, 2014.
Oh, that's bullshit. It's actually called the Ballista Pro.
Well, there's a Ballista and a Ballista Pro, just like there's a Saint and a Saint Pro.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is there a River Pro or something like that? It's like their version of the 3 or the X.
I had no idea.
Or the Captains for DisCap now. Or DisCap, jeez.
Discraft.
Yeah, whatever that other one is.
Wow. Alex, I'm sorry I let you down.
It happens. I lose all the time on here.
I really don't know if that's true.
I got 11-7. Does that sound right?
I had 12.
Oh,
but
yeah.
No,
I thought they missed. Oh, they didn't get Conduit as the disc.
Were they wrong on that one?
Yeah, there was one. It doesn't matter. But I always figure it out in editing. But like you were right all last week, Alex. I just I had a rough scoring week. But well, thank you, Alex, Jaimen, Corey, and Jason, and Kaitlyn, and thanks for coming on, Kat.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This was so cool to be a part of. And sorry I blew it in trivia, Alex.
It's all good.
All right. Thanks, Pat.
I went sweet up Hudson Valley.
Thanks, Pat.
Thanks, Pat.
Yeah, also, I think that there should be a word count on Jason's recording for this one.
I'll see what I can do.
You said it condenses down all the silence, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, that'll be very easy then.
I could take his and throw it onto a separate thing and just, you're absolutely
You could do the same opener as you did with Jeff.
Yeah.
This is Jason's recording in its entirety. Actually, Pat, I gotta get off.
Yep, I'm here. I can go interrupt her Pilates class if you want to just like her to say something. Not that good, no. But it would be fun to listen to her try. Speech. I was enjoying the kids. This was Jess. She should probably be on this tonight because she played way more golf than I did. I don't have much to offer. Yeah, the brewski layout. Pat, actually, if you don't mind, I'm going to jump off. Even up the teams that way. Good talking to you guys. I'll catch y'all next time. Well, I haven't been on in a couple weeks. I did a trip out to Mass, and it was a lot of fun. We played like 5 courses out there, and then I got a really bad stomach bug. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys next week.